Again, as I was saying, I got the wrong microphone, and this thing is not seeing me. Okay, I guess that this thing thinks I'm too ugly to be seen, but whatever. I was saying that um, this might be the last time that I broadcast in English, at least I guess for some time, because mm I think that what you see that there is no data, but I don't know what's happening. It's been easier to do the live broadcast in the cell phone. Um I try to do uh, mm, I don't know, better quality videos, but uh, it seems that neither my computer is powerful enough, or my English is not good enough. I try to do my best to explain this, or try to talk with you in English, but mm, I think that maybe I'm better in writing it than I am in speaking it. I don't think that it's been good enough experience what I have been given to you. Um, that not because I don't want it. I guess that my resources aren't enough to do to deliver something that worth seeing. I might be underestimating what I'm doing, but I guess that it's easier to see a video with what's this called, with uh, translation or closed captions, and automatic translation is getting better. I feel that it might not be good enough, but it's better than nothing, no? And for me to try to speak in a language that I almost don't use, you know, uh, I'm kind of I'm going to do myself coffee before continuing, but I don't find my where it is. Did you see where? Okay. So this thing is for you to see a face while I'm not here. Let me see this thing. Recognize. Hey, okay. I will try to. So as I was saying, I think that my English might not be good enough to be um, completely understandable. So I guess it's not worth, not it's not worth the effort to try to do these things. I try to share what I'm living with. To be. I try to include the more people that I can, but it's it's just too hard to try when you don't have enough domain of the language. So I guess people will be, I don't know, maybe it might be not attractive, and it might be difficult if you try to understand what I'm saying because it's not fluent enough. I already have a problem while I'm talking, that I made I make a lot of pauses to think what I'm saying, and sometimes it's harder to do in English because I have to translate, even when you can change the chip for the language that you're thinking enough vocabulary to communicate the things that you need to say. It's an understandable. You can understand what this guy in the screen are trying to say, because he can't be fluent enough, and not just fluent in the talk, but in the way that his thoughts are flowing. So for me, has been um, an interesting exercise, because it means to try to think things in another language help me to. It's like a mind exercise. It's like going to the, I don't know, brain gym. And as I am already aware that I'm losing, um, I don't know how it's said, like superior functions of my brain. Um, it's it's been hard to keep doing this exercise. I don't know if I should keep trying, because maybe to force myself to do these things um, could um, could slow the degradation. It maybe uh, could improve my everyday function. But to be honest, I don't see that improvement. I don't see that I'm doing better, even if I try to do it. You know, I guess that I I will need to just, ¿cómo se dice? I can say it. It's hard. Things are going away, you know. It's hard that I cannot say things neither in English or Spanish. It might be, understandable that I might not know the proper words in English because it's a second language, but to be losing the phrases, to be losing the words in your own language, to be losing all these elements, all these significance. I'm not sure that is a real word, at least in English. All the meanings and all the terms. I'm losing them, and I try to do my best. I I keep doing these live, recordings because I think that in the future it might help me to recover something of myself that is already going. Buenas, pariente. Neighbors, not my neighbors, my roommates, and they are from Michoacan, and we called each other parientes, like relatives. ¿Qué dice? Acá, grabando, aprovechando la agüita, disfrutando. La lluvia. Um, so, I don't know that if this might be a tool for people in similar process, like people with Alzheimer and dementia and all these diseases that are like deleting, like taking away what you are, because right now is just words, but I'm not sure if memories are already gone. I can't remember my daughter's face, and I have some Boy! But they are not enough because I don't know her. I haven't seen her in years, and boy! Sí, sí, sí. Give me a second. I have to, you know, pull out the divan. We have a small garage and only one entrance, so I have to move my my car to allow the other. So maybe you will lose connection. Well, so just give me 1 minute. How to detail. So I was saying that there is a lot of memories that might already gone, but I don't even knew it. You know, like you might don't even be aware that there is something that you already lose. You know, my neighbors love fake news, so any these AI generated images like the vegetable animals and things like that, they think that they are real. I'm well, there is some AI generated images that is hard to to detect that they are not like natural. I I'm not gonna say they are not real, but because they exist, they are out there, but they are synthetic. So, what happened this week? This week was weird. I'm thinking that since I got this disease, since I got this illness, life have become a roller coaster. It's like up and down, up and down, up and down, but all the time, like very rapidly. So sometimes seems like they can't be under control. A lot of times I think that I'm just not even a passenger. I'm a hostage. I don't know what's the word to say something that have been kidnapped. And this disease kidnapped all my life. All the things that I do revolve around preventing the pain. It goes about what thing I should or I should not do. If I, stand up too fast, then I will be dealing with pain crisis for 2 3 days. And sometimes it seems that even when you do your best effort, there is no way to help it. There is no way to control it. It's beyond your hands. It's again, it's like you are being held hostage. You are kidnapped by this disease that, and I mean kidnapped like real kidnap, like getting the eyes um, covered, and to be like tighten up, and you are just expecting for, you are just waiting for the next punch, you know when it will be your, when it will hit you again, and you can't even like look ahead, in other conditions. If you see that something is coming, you can like prepare it, even when you can't, avoid it. You do something to avoid the damage, to prevent further damage, and and with this, you don't know, and I don't even know the name of my kidnapper. I don't have a proper diagnostic. So there is news. um, Fortunately, one of my cousins got in contact like with some senator or representative. Here we have two cámaras, Cámara de Senadores y Cámara de Diputados. And it seems that I don't know if deputy is the correct um, translation, but because deputy is more like, as far as I know, is more like policeman or something like that, and like congressman or congresswoman, a congressperson, and they are doing like helping people with all the bureaucracy, so they contact directly with well with the specialist or the proper institute. So my aunt have lupus. I don't know if it's the same in English or and in Spanish, but she had been treated by private doctors because she doesn't have social security. So my cousins are taking her to you know, the doctor, but you have to pay your own medicines, and you have to pay every consult, and specialists is like 1000, no, like 1800 pesos. It's like $100 each time. That for some people might not sound like a lot, but if you take in account that people in like the lower salary, it's like 400 dollars. I guess I'm not sure. You know, I'm not very aware of the things, but it's a, a hefty amount. You know, that have its weight. It takes away a lot of your capabilities, because you have to give like 15 or 50 or 60% of your income to just to pay the doctor, no? And sometimes, okay, you pay the doctor, but how, or what do you do with the medicines? And the medicines are like double, triple what the doctor fee is, you know. So sometimes we are talking that to get your treatment, you have to spend like 2 or 3 minimum wage, minimum salary. And again, it might sound like not a lot for some people, but if you don't do that kind of money, it swallows you. It's all around you. So um, these people made the arrangements so my aunt can can have like social security. There is something called IMSS Bienestar, that is like the government are trying to unionize. No, that's other thing. To get all different social services that sometimes might not have the proper resources to help certain kind of people, because they have um, very like, I don't know, rare diseases, or some very expensive diseases like cancer, and like I don't know, these these diseases that you have to have dialysis or something. You know, I'm ignorant about it. Um, but I know that medicines are very, very expensive. So by getting all these different systems together, then supposedly you can have people uh, well attended, like if they have to go to a specialty, then no matter if you live like in the middle of the hills or in the desert or something, no, in the country, then they will send you to the hospital that have the resources that you need. um, and they send my aunt to Instituto Nacional de Nutrición, National Nutrition Institute, where they can take care of her disease. I'm ignorant. I don't know what lupus is. I heard the name, but I don't know much more about it. So they begin to give treatment and give like free medicine and free medical attentions to my aunt in all of those national institutes are located, well, a lot of them, I don't know if most of them. I think that it might be other ones like in Guadalajara and Monterrey, the biggest cities in Mexico. Um, Here, Querétaro is not a small city, and we only have a second level hospital. You know, they will take care of some specialties, but not all of them, and not fully. Um, and in the national institutes, they are doing like research, and I have a friend that used to work in one of these institutes. He's a member of Mensa. I'm a Mensan. For those people that don't know what Mensa is an organization of people with high IQ, like mm, intelligent people, but I, I I don't like to say it that way. We are mm, good at solving some kinds of test only. It doesn't make us wiser or dumber than anyone else. And I myself am an example of that. You know, all my EQ didn't help me to solve all these everyday troubles, and it might even prevent me to solve them. If I don't think, if I didn't think uh, everything, like if I weren't too rational, then maybe it will be easier to deal with all the emotional burden that I'm having right now, and all the troubles that I have been living in my life. So it's It feels good to be able to say people that you are very intelligent, but at the end of the day, it might not help you. It might be itself a burden, and a lot of my fellow Mensans, I think that they deal with it also, you know, like we know that our brain work in a different way that most people do, you know. You have to be between the 2%, um, the top 2% of the population. It's like one in, like 2 in 100 people have this level of intelligence. But it just talk about some way the brain works. It's not like we really do have the answers, you know. It's I I do a lot of jokes about it because very often you see, like in the news or in the papers, um, newspapers, this guy have like the same IQ like um, Albert Einstein, you know, or something, and it doesn't say anything, but because IQ doesn't do anything by itself. It's how people prepare, it's the resources that people have. Because I might be very intelligent, but if I can go to school, then I will be ignorant. If I can pay for my treatments, then I will still be ill, you know. Then in the end of the days, in the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I can resolve a mathematical problem or something, because this is not about math, and maybe this is not about logic. Maybe logic is preventing me to be able to solve what I'm feeling. Maybe it's working against me, you know, instead of helping me, like being so rational, it doesn't let me understand a lot of things, and that other people can understand easily, you know, like in the way I relate with the others. There is a lot of social clues that I just can't see, and it might be the reason that I lost a lot of opportunities, or that I wasn't even able to see them, you know? Like they were there in front of me, but I was incapable to see them. And that's because how my body and my mind works. And every one of us have a different way to work. So I know that everyone have its own burdens. So my cousin gave me a call and told me that they have the contact with these people and they might help me, with my problem. And since I don't really remember things, I'm not a reliant source, reliable. Yeah, I'm not a reliable source of information. So was my wife. If you can, please visit her channel. It's called Laura Malfoy Audiolibros, and there she like reads books and things. She also have diabetes, and she gives tips for diabetic people. Um, not like invented, like you know things that occurred to her. She took like academic course. I'm not sure how to say it. It's like diplomat, like going to college, but not to do um, not to do the like full school. It's not like doing a PhD. It's like going to wow, diplomado se dice en español y es como un curso, pero ¿cómo se dice en inglés? Sorry, I just don't remember the proper word. But well, she studied about it, with doctors and with people that um, do research about this disease, and like they are real doctors, no? So the information that they are giving is reliable, not like many other sources of information. Unfortunately, internet has given us opportunity to get a lot of information, but not always that information is correct. Sometimes these people that just thought that something was good and they say it like they have a way to prove it, but they are just that's just inventions of their minds. Anyway, um, she do these things in her channel, so you might be interested. And if you are like learning Spanish or something, you could use the audiobooks to like be listening what she's saying, and you can use like the auto translate captions, subtitles, and then you like can do the proper connections about what is said and what it means. I used to do that in like English school. We used to hear music and to see like movies, and to sometimes there was available like audiobooks, sometimes there wasn't, because it was a long time ago. I learned English like I don't know, maybe 25 years ago or something. um, so then we send, well, she sent them a message, and they called, and we are, well, I am like scanning all my documents, like the MRIs and the how's this called, like the X-rays and tomographs and electromyography and lab work and everything, to so they have the proper information to where I should be sent. um, I still, because I don't have like a proper and official diagnosis, then I need to talk with my algologist. Algologist means pain doctor, or properly it will mean like pain researcher. The words in Greek are algos. I don't know if it's pronounced like that, but it's how we write it in Spanish. Algos, that means pain, and logos, that mean study of, knowledge of, the truth of is. I studied philosophy, I don't know how it's pronounced. I like have almost all my credits, but I'm very bad with like how bureaucracy, like paperwork. I'm very bad doing paperwork. That's why I don't have neither of my titles, even when I already, cover all the credits of my careers. I don't have like the paper that mm, avail, like confirm that I have permit. I'm allowed to do a certain profession. But since I don't work in that uh, fields, then there is no trouble. It was more like my love of knowledge, but for the real reason why I studied, not because I was expecting to work in that field. It might be nice to be able to work in that fields, but I guess it's something I don't really need, you know, really need it. My life went out of control after I broke with my baby mama, my my daughter's mother, and it doesn't end well. It took years, and it's still like influencing in the things that I do. So it made very difficult for me to end my studies. It took me like 10 years to finish my psychology studies. And as I said, I never did like the paperwork to get my license. So I don't really work in that field. I was just like how do you say it? Give me a second. I was just like uh, volunteer to give like kind of counsel, but not proper. uh, therapy. Even when I have other titles that allow me to work in that field, just it's just that I can call myself a psychologist because I don't finish like the um, paperwork needed to do that thing. So why I'm saying this? This is like part of the oh god, I need to put that in the title because I always forget the word. Mm, the summary of the week. I was in a group of like fellow students of my university, and they are therapists, psychotherapists. Some of them are like psychoanalyst, psycho. What's the word? Psychoanalyst. They practice psychoanalysis, um, and some of them like took other ways in psychology, but all of them work uh, in the mental health field, like giving therapy. And a friend of mine got me in that uh, group, and we use it like to derive patients. I have a patient that needs like he's a child, and I don't I'm not specialist in children attention, so I ask in the group, hey guys, who are like specialists in children and are located in certain location, and that's kind of how the group worked. Give me a second. They just got the let me give you my pretty face again. That's it. That's right. Um, they got the truck in the garage, and it like the smoke gets in here, and they have to open the windows and doors so we don't die of that. only mostly professional relationships. So I'm telling them my history, and what I'm currently doing, the campaign that I started in GoFundMe to get money to pay for my studies that maybe would or will give me a proper diagnosis. And I share this with them, you know, and put like a link to this channel and to the GoFundMe campaign and everything. So they maybe in her personal Facebooks or in, I don't know, their accounts, maybe they could share my history, because I think that it's easier to collect the funds if a lot of people know about it and they share like $1. I guess, I think that it's like $1, the minimum amount, no? So it's not, in the end it could help me find a diagnosis and maybe a treatment. I guess that the hardest part of this is to have a name to describe, or I don't have a word to name what is happening to me, you know? So when people ask me what's happening with you, well, and sometimes it's worse pain, you know? Sometimes it's bad and sometimes it's worse. And but like when they say, well, what's causing it, or what happened for you to have this? And I have to say I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's like nerve damage, or if it's like something muscular or something with my bones, or you know, whatever. I don't have um, a word to say what's happening, and it makes harder for me to explain, not just for other people but for myself, what's happening in there, you know, because I don't have anything to name it. It's like a faceless monster that I'm fighting with. It's like dealing with an invisible ghost, and that's very awful. It's it makes harder to cope with it because I can't. That's what. That's why I was talking about, the rational mind. And since I don't have a name to name it, I don't have a word to name it. Then it's like something formless, shapeless, something. That shouldn't exist, but is there. And I cannot understand it. I cannot deal with it because I can't understand it, and I can understand it because I don't have a word to name it. So I think that once I have a diagnosis, maybe it will help me to understand what I'm happening, what I'm living, what's happening to me. But right now is like I have my hands or cuffed, like handcuffs. And also I'm chained to the floor, and I cannot move freely. And also I have my ears like covered, and my eyes, and I can't see and I can hear what's hitting me, what's punching me. Well, then I shared like these things with my fellow psychotherapist, and they didn't answer anything. They didn't put an emoji or like a face, you know that little reactions that you can do in WhatsApp. Or they didn't say anything. They just kept mute, and I thought that it was maybe because they, when you don't have a good thing to say, I believe that it's better uh, to keep yourself silent. It's better to say nothing than to say something that might hurt the other. So I thought that this what this is this where this was ah this is what was happening with them. I thought that maybe they didn't find the proper words to answer, so they didn't answer. Can I thought, well, that's okay. Then someone else like asks uh, for a patient. Well, not ask for a patient. They ask if someone was available for a patient, and they answer, "Oh, I'm like in that zone and whatever." And the next day, someone else asks for help for his or her daughter. I didn't see who was, and I didn't care. And they answered immediately, "Oh, sure, I'm going to share it. Oh, sure, I'm going to, donate something." And it hit me very hard because that meant that it was not that they don't they didn't knew how to answer. They didn't knew what to say. It was that they chose to not answer, to ignore what I saying. And that is like saying you don't work enough. That was my biggest fear when I started the campaign, that people just think that I don't worth it, that I don't deserve not even their money. I don't deserve their attention. I don't deserve a word of comforting. I don't deserve their empathy. And it hit very hard, and it was ugly because these people are my equals. These people are I maybe understand it if I was talking to engineers or plumbers or whatever, because they might not have the proper tools to deal with something related to emotions. But these guys were psychotherapists. They work with this. They are trained to deal with this. They are trained to help people to cope with these things, you know, to work with emotions, to deal with things that happen in your heart and not in your brain, for saying something, you know. And they choose not to give me any sign of empathy. They thought that even when they didn't knew me personally, you know, but half of them were my student mates, you know. We stood together. We spent at least 3 months. Some of them we spent a year studying together, seeing each other every day, and they decide that I don't even worth a, a word. I'm not talking about they donating. I'm not talking about they sharing. They even they didn't even answer my cry for help. And these people is who are working with emotions. If this is what they are doing outside the, not the office, how you say, the el consultorio, outside, well, in their everyday life, how could they think that they have the tools to work with other people and to charge for it, because they don't work for free. They do this for a living, and they decide to ignore one of their partners. Is was this that I'm so antipathic that they thought that I don't deserve a word? What did I did to them? You know? I don't know. I know that some people might be offended for or by the things that I say. I've been trying to develop some filters because I don't have many filters. But I don't say things that might hurt people. If I say something to someone, it's because I believe that they can improve themselves. You know, I don't waste my words in people that I don't think that don't deserve them. So they just thought that I don't deserve it. No? I don't even think that they might hate me or something, because something I said or done where when we were in school. I don't think that I'm that kind of important, I'm not so entitled. I'm not so egocentric to think that they might hate me for something, I know that I'm not so important in their lives, but it's different to be not important in someone's life than to have this active. And I'm saying because we are professionals, we know what we are doing. They might try to deceive someone else. They might try to engañar. Mm, sorry, I don't know the word. They might fool someone else, but we are equals, and we both know what is happening. they don't have the they don't have a way to excuse themselves for that behavior because they work with it every day. Every day they choose to make this their lives, so they cannot argue that they didn't knew what was happening, you know. They don't have the excuse of ignorance because they are professionals in this. And it made me think of what kind of professionals we are having. You know, I questioned it since I was in school. I remember that I said to them that school is the place that we have to make mistakes because it's our safe place. We can do it wrong in school because outside, if we do wrong, then we cause harm, and we cause a harm that doesn't have like antidote. I don't know if it's correct that word, but you have nothing to cure this kind of poison. It's not like you could inject something to revert the effects of something, no, like naloxone do with opioids. Le gustó más la cara de el retrato. So it's hard to think about it. And I'm doing this, I'm criticizing this openly because I think that we are in a point that it's not enough to do it privately, you know, like in our academic papers and like in we say in schools or inner circles, you know. We've been criticizing this kind of behaviors. In my experience, at least we have 25 years criticizing people that behave like that. We criticize the psychiatrist's approach because they forget about the emotional part that part of the beings that cannot be measured. You know, we can't put a scale for emotions. We can maybe compare it with itself, you know, like this feels little and that other feels big, but it's not like we have um, a unit to measure it, you know, like I love you 25,000 hearts, or I hate you one mega something. By nature, they are not measurable. And we criticize the pretensions of objectivity of some fields of science because they forget that there are certain phenomena that only happen once, that is irrepetible, irrepetible. I that yeah, irrepetible. That will not happen again. And we could like compare them, compare them. You know, we can think about how this particular phenomena is similar to that other, but they are both unique. And we criticize mainly that in their search for objectivity, in the search of measurability, in the search for repetibility, they forget that there are certain things that cannot be measured. And that certain one of that certain things is emotions and how they affect people. And when you decide to ignore the emotions of other people, then you are dehumanizing him or her. You take away their humanity. And that was what happened with them. And that's what's happening with our field. We are forgetting about it. The things that we discuss in school, the things that we fought for in the school, how we debate with the teachers, how we say that they might be wrong or that they are not doing things properly because they are forgetting this part, you know. They are forgetting, they are dehumanizing beings. They are taking away what they are. And if we as psychotherapists are doing this with all our own colleagues, then what we are doing with our patients? What are we doing with the people that we serve? Because we are servants. We choose to be servants. We choose to do a service for the people out there. Nobody forces us to do this. Nobody forces us to do any new therapeutic relationship. Each time that you go to consult and you see a new patient or the same patient again, each new consult is by a conscious decision. So I guess that if we are preaching all these things in and out of the consult, at least we should be empathic with our own people, with the people that is like us, because they know the things that we know. They do the things that we do. Yes, maybe they are not a member of your family, or they are not someone that you love, but they are your mirror, you know. They are like you. And we are dealing every day with people that is being ignored by the others. And every day we say to them that they worth, that what they feel is important, that what that their emotions are, their emotions matter, you know. And to do this with someone that is your mirror seems at least hypocritical. So for my words are for every psychotherapist or mental health uh, caretaker, mental health professional. You are not being honest with your patient if you do this in your private life. And if you think that you can't make it, then you should resign. That's why I don't give therapy. That's why I don't work in that field, because I don't have enough tools to. I mean, I have the academic tools to do it. I have the knowledge to do it, but I don't have the proper what you need to help over. And I don't mean that I'm not empathic, but I don't feel that I could give um, not comfort, because sometimes you don't have to give comfort to the patient, but to give them, ¿cómo se llama esta madre? Contention. If I'm feeling overwhelmed by my own emotions, how can I give contention to someone else? And I know that I'm in not in the mood, I'm not in the proper conditions to do a full therapeutic process, you know. So I work printing things. I do shirts and I talk to the camera. Where is your work ethics? And I've been talking a lot about this, because if I'm worried about my work ethics doing shirts that are not critical, you know. If your printing is not straight, or if some color is changed, that maybe not be a matter of life or death, you know. And that's something that we deal every day in the consult as psychotherapists, and we have to have that in mind, you know. Some patients will be low risk and some patients will be high risk, but every one of them are putting their life in your hands, because they are putting in your hands why they feel, why they think, the things that they are living, everything. They are giving you the most sacred thing of themselves. They are giving you their own being, and to treat your kind like this, I think that you might not be worth to have the privilege to work with other people's emotions. And I'm not criticizing, this small group of therapists. I'm talking about everyone out there, because as a patient, I have to deal with them every time I'm in the emergency room, every time I'm in a crisis where I can talk, where I can say to them what I'm feeling, and to be treated like less than a dog. I mean, some of them have more empathy for any animal, and I'm not saying that they not deserve it. I'm saying that everyone deserves empathy. Everyone should be thinking about what they are doing in their work, not just because you studied some years and you invest some years of your life in studying something. It doesn't mean that you are ready to do that work. It doesn't mean that you are worth to do that work, because it's a privilege. Not everyone should be given this privilege. What are we doing with empathy? What are we doing with the others? In the consult and in your everyday life, what kind of people are we? I do some kind of intervention, like it's like just kind of emergency intervention. It's mm, like an effort to, or not something that is blocked, to allow things to flow, you know. I'm not, and I say it, when I do this intervention with someone, we are dealing only with the most urgent thing in this place. You have to go to a proper therapist to understand really what's happening, in a profound manner. We are only looking for an immediate answer that could help us to keep walking. And I believe that it is important to do that thing, because not always we have the resources to do a proper mm, therapy process. We are dealing with a world where we don't have enough money to live, to have even enough to be well, mm, to eat well. We are getting sick because we don't eat properly. We are getting sick because we don't have a proper bed. We are getting sick because we have to work too many hours. And that's our reality, and we have to deal with it. We, we wish that it would, it wasn't, it didn't happen, but it's happening. So we have to look for a way to solve that immediate trouble. And then when we deal with this immediate trouble, maybe we have enough energy to deal with the causes of that trouble, Like, that's what I said before. The temporary fixes that last 5, 10, 20 years. But it comes a time that we have to deal with what's in the bottom of it, Deal with our things that are behind the trouble that we are having, to really solve it. But it's like here, I need to have an extension cord to have the computer running while I finish to fix all the proper electrical installation. Because if I don't do this, then I will not be able to get the resources to do the proper electrical installation, you know? I have to keep working. I cannot wait to have it properly installed. I cannot wait to have it finished because I don't have time. I have to eat every day. I have bills to pay. I have responsibilities that I made, you know? I have to somehow find the resources to pay my medicines because if I don't have my medicines, then I couldn't even stand up from bed. I will be tied to the bed. I will not be able to work. So I know that this is not a proper and not a permanent solution, but it's something that sometimes you have to do. Sometimes you have to improvise because you don't have the proper tools or you don't have enough resources to solve it in that moment. And that's kind of what I do in, you know, the method that I apply. And I do it because I have the knowledge to do it, because I have the tools to give what people are asking from me, or maybe not what they are asking, but what they need, because I'm able to do my work properly. And when they ask for a long-term uh, therapy, I say that they need to look for someone else because I don't have the proper tools to do that. You know, I'm sincere with myself. I know I can't do it, so I will not do it. But it doesn't mean that I cannot help people that need to like unclog things to make things keep flowing. I know I have the tools, I know I have knowledge, and I know I'm capable of doing it. So that's why I do it. And that's why I was in that group. Because sometime or they might be someone that need that kind of help in some point or in some moment, you know? And it's not like I'm in a different level of, you know, it's not like I'm different from them. I'm just honest with myself, and I know I'm not capable of do that work even when I have the qualifications and I have the proper credentials to do it. Maybe I'm not a social psychologist, but I have the papers that allows me to call myself how you could say. I'm trying to look for the exact academic term because someone might get confused and say that I'm lying or whatever. We can call we can call me like emotional healing process companion, if you want to say it in a way, you know. So I don't call myself a psychiatrist nor a psychologist, but I'm some kind of psychotherapy because I apply techniques that can be described as psychological therapy, you know. It's a muddy subject because we don't have like a very well legal code to talk about who are what uh, among the psychological community, and it depends on who are saying what, the interpretation of the validity or not validity of something, you know. Mm. So maybe if we talk with some graduate of like a conductist um, school or college, uh, a conductist sided. I'm not. I'm. I don't know the word. Like the way they approach to, you know, their epistemological way to approach to the subjects. So when you talk with one of them, they could say, or they might say that uh, psychoanalysis is just sorcery, you know, or that um, Gestalt are, I don't know, like 60, the 60s decade druggies, you know, like hippies, and they have been uh, appearing all these new kinds of therapy or pseudotherapy, because we cannot forget that there is people that try to deceive others. There are people that are honest with themselves and they really believe in the way that they approach some uh, some fields, you know, and all are people that truly believe that what they are saying works, you know. Sometimes it works and we don't know why. We don't have no knowledge as humanity, you know, as a completely able to disallow some kinds of therapy, because even when it's just placebo effect, it works. So what are we looking for? Are we looking for the well-being of the people, or we are looking for be right, you know? I don't care if I'm wrong, if I'm saying something that is not correct, but I really care is that the people in front of me and the people that approach to me have a better understanding of themselves, and they have the tools, or they get the tools to improve their quality of life. I'm not worried to be right. I'm not worried if they say that what I do is sorcery, because it doesn't matter. So, how many of you mental health professionals are more interested in being right than the well being of your patient? How much are you trying to make the patient clear that you have the knowledge and they don't know what's happening with them. How much are you worried about people feeling better and having the chance to deal with their troubles? Where are you pointing at? What are you looking for? Where is your, ¿cómo se dice? Importancia. Sorry, I forgot the word. In Spanish and in English. But what are your intentions behind the therapeutical work? Are you looking for money? Are you looking for luxuries? Are you looking for fame or acceptance, or you know, do people think that you are a amazing woman, or you are looking for the well-being of the people, especially of the person that are in front of you? Remember what made you choose. Every time that you go to consultation, before you begin to speak with the people that are consulting you, remember why you choose to do it, why you choose this career, and what are the really important things. Because I believe that a luxury car don't worth the well-being of other person. You should not be sacrificing others for the things that you could get. And this is for all these alternative therapists also. You are sacrificing other people to get money. You are sacrificing lives. It's not like you only take their money away, you take their works, you take their food, you take their lives, their memories, their feelings. You are sacrificing someone else for your luxuries. Is it worth it? And I guess that this is a question for everyone. Are you sacrificing someone for your luxuries? Are you interchanging someone else's life, someone else being to get money, to get a car, to get a yacht, a Rolex, whatever? Remember, you are taking life and you are not different from a murderer. Goodbye.